coming here today. I'm really excited to see faces. I feel like this time last year we were all behind a computer doing this virtually. So it's really kind of like a homecoming or a reunion to see everybody's faces because we haven't seen each other in a long, long time. So welcome, and I'm just so excited that we get to be here today and see each other in person. So as it looks like, we do have someone coming to speak to us. His name is Anthony. Sartori, am I saying that correctly? Right? Oh, okay, hi. Anthony, welcome. Come on up, I'm not gonna hold you any longer.
So I'm gonna pause and take 3 deep breaths. It's a helpful way for me to cultivate a little self-awareness before speaking with you. I'd also like you all, it's an open invitation to explore 3 deep breaths in at your own pace and rhythm with eyes open or closed. And that's how we begin today's presentation. So in that pause, I'm aware of my heart beating. I can hear the sounds in the space around me. Even aware of kind of a dryness in the mouth, probably nervousness. My name is Anthony, and I am the executive director and founder of Evolving Minds. I use he and him pronouns, and I am a white male. And it's important for me to acknowledge those identities when coming into this space because white men hold significant power and privilege in our society. Our mission as a nonprofit is to create a culture of care. And we focus our mission building caring work cultures for nonprofits, social impact organizations, retail workers. And our main, thank you. And our main program is Connected Cultures. It's a workplace mental health training that centers relationships, peer-to-peer relationships in the workplace. So today our focus is, I'm gonna kind of demonstrate how we approach mental health in the workplace. We'll practice gratitude together, some mindfulness together. We'll intentionally cultivate connection and community around our tables, and engage in small and large group discussions to share insights, key learnings. What to expect today? It's a good question. What to expect? This is going to be experiential, hands-on, practicing skills together, reflecting. As much as possible, I'm going to need you to be engaged. It's not a traditional lecture-based presentation. I'm also going to disrupt some social norms. At times, we are going to toss around an imaginary ball. So just taking a moment to notice if there's some anxiety with that. There'll be silence and periods of silence when we're sharing or practicing mindfulness, and often silence is uncomfortable, so there might be some discomfort here today for you. We're going to slow down when we practice these skills and I'm going to ask you to be vulnerable with the people around you, which oftentimes is very scary. And to be totally honest, before coming in here, I was sitting in my car doing about a 20-minute meditation because I was noticing a lot of social anxiety within my mind, a lot of doubt and a lot of fear. But I know I'm in a space with caring people, and I know you all understand. There's some insight here, really the importance of community and connection, peer-to-peer support. What I ask is that you bring an open mind to this experience. And I will say a brief note about technology. Technology as it is currently designed, and those are really key words there, as it is currently designed, is addictive. And so in this space, I'm gonna highly encourage you to disconnect, unless you need the technology for accessibility purposes, then I understand. But if you do not need technology in this space, I really encourage you to disconnect. It will be disruptive. It will be disruptive to the people around you, all the notifications, the emails, the Slack messages, the text messages. We're gonna try and engage face-to-face, eye-to-eye. And so any phone, laptop, it'll pull us away, it'll distract us, it'll pull us somewhere else. So as much as possible, I really encourage us to disconnect. A high-level overview of our time. We're going to start with our connection questions, go into some gratitude, small and large group discussions, mindfulness, and then I'll share a little bit more about our workplace mental health training, Connected Cultures, and really it's centered around the U.S. Surgeon General's framework for mental health in the workplace. So we're going to start with our purpose. We exist as a nonprofit to form and build meaningful relationships. So we're going to begin with our connection questions. And you have some connection questions right in front of you. They're already at your table. They're also on the slide here. There's no right or wrong way to do this. You can start with the top question or the bottom, but you're going to find a peer, one other person, and just connect for about 5 minutes. If there's a group of 3, that's okay, but I would encourage you to really focus just on one-on-one. There'll be kind of some social pull to do the whole group, but now shifting, and we have about 5 minutes just to connect. strong. Bring it back. I promise there'll be more time to connect. I promise. Thank you. All right. Bringing it back. All right. So we're going to shift gears and we're going to move towards our gratitude skills practice. Before we introduce that skill, though, I want to talk about 2 facilitation techniques that I use when I work in groups with peers and work environments. When introducing the gratitude skill and sharing in a group and we're sitting in a circle, one of the first is a stress ball. It's an object, you have them at your table, that can be felt with the senses, right? And we usually toss that around and people share. It's a grounding tool and technique. You can feel it with the 5 senses, right? Even in this moment, some of you are feeling the stress ball, you're aware of it, it's in your hand, tactile sensation. And then there's the imaginary ball. The imaginary ball is about playfulness, creativity, imagination. It also provokes a lot of social discomfort. It's another technique that we use, and we're just going to kind of get comfortable with it for a moment. I'm going to introduce it into this space. And I actually brought one here with me. Where did I put it? Oh, one second. Okay, so I have the imaginary ball with me. And now we're just going to kind of toss it around the space and just see what happens. So I have the imaginary ball, and all we're going to do in this moment is just move the imaginary ball around the space from one person to the next. So I'm going to toss it out there. I don't know what's going to happen. So, all right, here we go. All right. Just move it around the space. Oh, it's over there somewhere. There it is. Keep it going. All right. Nice. There it is. Oh, and there's 2 imaginary balls. Just keep moving around. Keep it going. Whoa, there it is. That was a nice catch. Woo. Excellent. There we go. Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. Oh, there it is. Oh, okay. Nice. Oh. Somewhere in the back over there. There it is. There it is in the back. Oh, I like that. Take it up here. There we go. Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you. You all now have this technique, the imaginary ball. I think the clicker might have died. So we're going to shift gears now, and we're going to practice the gratitude skill. And when I introduce the gratitude skill to a group, I really say 3 things. Keep going, pass the ball randomly, and let the ball invite people to speak. It's okay to pass. So we're going to carve out 15 minutes for one skill. What are you grateful for? We're going to keep going, which means we're going to share multiple times. We've been conditioned within our spaces when we connect just to go around and share one thing and then we move on to the agenda. But in this experience, we're really going to carve out that 15 minutes, keep going, pass the ball randomly, and let the ball invite people to speak. So if you have the ball, you're speaking, and if you're not, you're listening. And it's okay to pass. If the ball comes to you at any point and you're not feeling it, you're feeling overwhelmed, or you just don't have anything to share, it's okay to pass. So the skill and the question is, what are you grateful for? So one of you at your groups will begin by just using one of the stress balls, and you can start within your group. If there are tables with only 2 people, I would encourage you to merge so you have at least 3 people in your space. So you can begin now, and I might hop around just to see how you're all doing. What are you grateful for? Keep it going. Pass the ball randomly from one person to the next, and it's okay to pass. One person can begin in each group with your stress ball.
Oh, it's all good. I probably
Yeah, it's really good. Listen, if you don't want to go, you can dance. That's what you said.
Keeping it going. What are you grateful for? We're passing the ball around. Keep going. Cultivating a gratitude mind state. Okay, so we're going to bring it back. Closing your thoughts. Bringing it back. I promise there'll be more time to connect. All right. Bringing it back. Connection is powerful. It's hard to get you to come back here. It's this pull. Just to keep going. Alright. Okay. Wow, connection is powerful, right? There's something about this. Just keep going, keep going. You can imagine I've actually done this skill, just gratitude, for 60 minutes with a group of people. It's really, really remarkable. All right. So we are going to shift gears now and debrief and process. But before we do that, if we could just take a moment of collective silence just to notice what it felt like to cultivate a gratitude mindset with the space around you. So just about 15 seconds or so, just noticing, being aware of what's here for you. So we're going to debrief in small groups with your partner that you explore the connection questions with. And the idea is this is really open-ended. What was that like for you? What did you notice? What are you aware of from the practice of gratitude? And here's some helpful questions. If you need some guidance, you could reflect on some of these. What was the impact on the peer community in this space? But open-ended, we have about 3 to 4 minutes in your small pairs. What was that like for you? So now, just shifting back to your smaller pair and connecting and debriefing. Okay, we're gonna bring it back. We're gonna bring it back. Thank you. Just a quick debrief, just a pause. So now we have an opportunity for a community share. And just want to acknowledge that we only have about 5 minutes for this, so Maybe sharing a few emotional, words or a few sentences, but knowing that we only have 5 minutes and we want to maximize how many people. But if you have some insight that you want to share with the space, please raise your hand about what is the impact that you're aware of gratitude on this group, on this peer community. What are you aware of? What are you noticing in this moment? And I'll run the mic over to you. So we have about 5 minutes. Oh.
I don't understand. This opportunity to share this space allowed me to be able to see, even though I'm of a different ethnic background, racial background, gratitude doesn't really have a barrier, doesn't have a limit. So the commonality of hearing some people share some of the same things they're grateful for, some of the values, kind of like I grew up with, even though life takes its turns, you're still grateful for the small things. And then you can hear that sometimes resonate in others. Even though I don't know them, they don't know me, but just that connection that the universe kind of, allows us to be able to be a part of is what I got.
Thank you.
Hi everyone. So what I noticed from this table here is that for the most part, we are most grateful for all the bad things that we had to go through in order to be sitting here in this very room today.
Hi, what I noticed from our table is that in our work environment, we respect each other. We're like a family. We don't consider color, race, or who's been, who has been. We respect everyone. We love each other as brothers and sisters, not just co-workers.
What else is here for us? What are we aware of from the practice of gratitude? I'm hearing common humanity, empathy, meaning making.
I feel like at this table, if we get any more deeper, we're gonna float away.
What I took notice with the group I was with, that no matter what our challenges were in life, we're grateful for where we're at today.
This exercise brought me to the realization that a lot of the things that irritate me in life aren't really that important.
This is a very insightful space. I love this.
One thing that I noticed in this last exercise was the energy in the room, not just from this table, right? The positive energy in the room. I think it's unique to have a whole bunch of people filling the room up with positive energy that you can literally feel in your body. And I think that is very important, that we all are grateful, we all overcame, and we all have this positive perspective, and we can expand it and give it to other people. I think that's important for us.
That is a great kind of segue into feeling in the body. So we're going to shift gears now a little bit, and this is an opportunity to just process. We've been doing a lot of talking and engaging, and I'll invite us to pause and to feel and to notice and slow down a little bit. It'll be about a 5-minute guided meditation. And I always say, if you want to tune me out to tune into you, that's awesome. I'm merely up here to offer some words of guidance. And this will be an opportunity just to slow down and to be aware of what's here for you in this moment. So with the practice of mindfulness and meditation, it can begin wherever you are, with eyes open or closed. So if it's helpful to close your eyes, you can close your eyes, but if you want to keep your eyes open, that's okay as well. Sometimes it can be helpful to allow the hands and the fingers to consciously relax on the body, palms facing up or down or together, whatever allows you to pause, to journey inward. You might explore taking 3 full deep breaths in at your own pace and rhythm. Noticing the movement of the breath and the sounds in the space around you as a way of grounding your attention in the present moment. Noticing if there are emotions present within the body. And as you pause, you might notice stress or tension in the shoulders, and sometimes it can be helpful to consciously relax the shoulders back. So we're pausing and slowing down and becoming aware of what's here for you in the present moment. Maybe there's a lot of thinking going on. Past-oriented thoughts, future thinking. Maybe there's awareness of the breath and the body and feeling the feet on the ground or the support of the chair beneath you, the areas of contact that you have with the surfaces beneath you, grounding. Moment by moment, noticing the experience that's unfolding and even wondering what it felt like to connect. Gratitude. Maybe there's opposite emotions that are here, and that's okay. There's no right or wrong way to practice mindfulness and meditation. And we're observing the flow of experience as it unfolds. So there might be physiological sensations within the body. Or there might not be. You might not be aware of that, and that's okay. When practicing mindfulness and meditation, sometimes it can be helpful to smile gently at the mouth, and you might even explore that. Noticing what that feels like, just a gentle smile, feeling within. It's an invitation. And as we look towards transitioning out of this brief pause, you might explore 3 full deep breaths in at the belly at your own pace and rhythm. And as you breathe out, noticing the exhale and slowing down the exhale as you breathe out. When you're ready, returning back to the space around you with eyes open. And as you return to the space, you might notice the colors, the textures, the patterns, grounding your attention in the space around you. So we'll have a few minutes here to debrief with your partner again. And it's really open-ended. It's whatever you're comfortable sharing. It's an opportunity to process the experience. When we go inward, even for 5 minutes, it can be a lot. A lot can happen in 5 minutes within the mind and body. So I encourage you, whatever you're comfortable sharing with your partner, knowing that it's okay to share or not share, whatever works for you. What was that like for you in that pause? What are you aware of? What are you noticing? We'll have about a couple minutes now to debrief. All right. We're going to bring it back. Thank you for taking that moment. So we're going to bring it back up here. So thank you all. And now I'm going to connect the dots a little bit and talk about how this fits into peer support in the work environment and our approach to mental health at work. First, to just acknowledge that workers are in crisis. There's a deep mental health crisis in this country and beyond. 84% of workers said their workplace conditions, key words, workplace conditions, have contributed to at least one mental health challenge. 84%. 4 in 5 workers report that workplace stress affects their relationships with their peers, the people that are important to them, social bonds and relationships. So there are vast inequities within the workplace that are causing these mental health challenges. And then on top of that, we live in a world of constant trauma, just ongoing injustices, oppression. You see the news articles, we have 10 years left to avert a climate catastrophe. I mean, it is really striking how much harm and suffering there is in the world, and this deeply impacts workers. And being in the nonprofit space, working with social impact people, we're engaged in this work. And so the work takes an even greater toll on our mental health and well-being. And there is good news within this bad news, and it's culture change, and it's culture shift, and it's taking place in the workplace. 81% of workers have shared, 81%, that they are actively seeking workplaces that support mental health. So there's immense culture change that's taking place in the workplace, and it's good news. There's I believe, a desperate need for peer support in the work environment. U.S. full-time adults work on average 8.8 hours a day. They sleep 6.8 hours a day. We engage in leisurely activities 3 hours a day. And we care for people, family, and friends 1 hour a day. Now, there's something deeply wrong with that, just on a human level. And within that, because we're spending our entire lives in the work environment, it makes sense to build in peer-to-peer social support and social belonging. So the U.S. Surgeon General framework for mental health and well-being was just released in 2022. I think this is one of the most comprehensive frameworks that I've seen, and I really just love it. I mean, it centers what we've done today as a key pillar. This wasn't an icebreaker experience. We were engaged in the key pillar of building connection and community, social support, one of our core needs. Belonging. I heard that today. Being seen, being heard, being validated for my lived experiences and my identities that are here in this space. Another key pillar, work-life harmony. Decisions that are made in the workforce are made by the workers, right? Work-life harmony and balance, meaning in the workplace, finding meaning, carving out time and space, protecting it so that we can find meaning. And you can imagine with your team or the groups that you work with, imagine having the gratitude skill and reflecting around you all. What are we grateful for about each other? What are we grateful for about our impact, our mission? And then opportunities for growth and learning and ultimately protecting workers from harm. So this is an incredible framework. You can Google it, you'll find it, and it centers the worker in equity. So our Connected Cultures training, there's 3 core pillars. So if you're thinking about how to bring peer support in the workplace, one of the key components that we found to be really needed is a culture building meeting. 20 minutes weekly. That's a huge ask for most work environments. Just 20 minutes out of a 40 to 60 hour work week. But that 20 minutes is key. And we usually build it into the all staff meeting. And in that culture building meeting, we're practicing skills together. The skills that you practiced today. And this is led by peers. Because when I come in and work with a team in an organization, I eventually leave. So it has to be sustainable and intrinsically motivated. And those are peers, you all. You believe in this, you understand the value and impact. You are the workplace wellness advocates and champions. So our mindfulness curriculum is made up of some core skills that we found to be impactful for people in the workplace. One of the categories is focus. 7 in 10 workers have difficulty concentrating during the workday. And that's not because anything's wrong with workers, but because workplace conditions are disruptive often. And we provide skills that encourage concentration and attention and focus. Self-awareness, social and emotional learning, emotions, thoughts, feelings, cultivating and becoming aware of those skills in the workplace so we are not harming others and we're aware of our behavior, actions, thoughts. Stress reduction. Work is inherently stressful. I went my entire life from my educational experience and different working careers, and not once did I ever learn one stress reduction skill. But there are stress reduction skills. We can reduce stress. And we can cultivate empathy. How do I see a sense of loving kindness for that coworker that I hate? So when we practice mindfulness, and you've probably maybe brought mindfulness into your workspace or your peer environment, so I just want to orient how we teach it because I think this is an important piece. We practice the skill like we did, and then we turn to the person next to us and we're like, what was that like for you? What are you aware of? So you want really 3 to 5 minutes of processing, and then as a larger group, we share what we're noticing and what we're aware of. So building that sense of self and team awareness. And then we have our resilience curriculum, which are a core set of skills that cultivate empathy, trust, support. Gratitude is the skill we practice today. What are you grateful for? Joy, what brings you joy? Goodness, where do you see goodness in the world? Hope, what gives you hope? Inspiration, what inspires you? Peace, what brings you peace? Curiosity, what are you curious about? And love, who or what do you love? And we do have workplaces that are practicing the skill of love, which is, I think, pretty amazing. Now, mindfulness skills are great, and so are resilience skills. But do they change those worker conditions that are causing so much of the harm? They often provide a foundation of community and connection where there's mutual trust and respect, which I heard from the back table, where we can engage in the pain points, the discomfort. So when we work with teams, we have our mindfulness skills, our resilience skills, and then work culture skills, and they get integrated into the workflow. And what we recommend and what we build out are skills that build culture, values. I heard values today. Mission, impact, the team itself, skills that you can reliably come back to week by week. Skills that prioritize diversity, equity, inclusion, accessibility. So with one of our nonprofit partners, they built out a justice, equity, diversity, inclusion learning library where they can access resources and educate themselves. But I'm also very invested in skills that look at the inequities, provide a framework and a lens within organizations and actively change those inequities so we can build those skills internally. We have these skills that support conversations really about hard topics and organizational pain points. There are always common roadblocks. Common roadblocks prevent peer-to-peer support in the workplace, and there are many common roadblocks. Unfortunately, I wish I could say that there weren't, but there are a lot to unpack. And I want to walk through a case study here with one of our nonprofit partners called Resilience Roundtables. And what this team did, it was, when we have our resilience ambassadors that are designing these skills, it isn't actually the executive director or HR. It's people within the organization that are identifying, wow, we have workload imbalances and it's harming people. It's really harming people's mental health. So this team, what they did, I thought it was brilliant. They looked at their employee wellness surveys. They saw that we're harming workers. So they built surveys to look at workflow and workload imbalances, but also they looked specifically at white supremacist work norms within the organization. And they analyzed that data. They reviewed that data. They educated their team. They held conversations. So this is a skill that's happening over multiple weeks and multiple months. And what they were able to eventually come to is that they became aware of a number of unspoken or implicit expectations around work that had never been set by anyone in that organization, such as this idea of a productivity mindset, a common roadblock, that we have to be productive every single second of the day, and if we're not being productive every single second of the day, and even after we've done a million tasks at the end of the day, we still feel like we haven't done enough. This is a common roadblock. Toxic cultural work norm. They discovered these. Like, wow, these exist within our organization. And so then collectively, they, this is still ongoing work. The work isn't done for them. They're able to really promote positive culture change in their work environment for building that actual caring work culture that they desire, which I think is this is it, this is the work. So in terms of when I make a case for support around peer-to-peer support and mental health in the workplace, this is the three main statements that I make. So if you're thinking about, well, I want to bring peer support, I want to, in the workplace, how do I do that? How do I make a case for that? What I've found is that we desperately need a people-first work culture in the moment that we're living in. Because for far too long, labor and work in our country has valued profit and productivity over people. People just aren't valued, workers, peer support. And so we desperately need to nourish a people-first work culture where we cultivate that sense of empathy and authenticity, trust, belonging in the workspace. A people-first, and I'd also argue for a planet-first work culture too. And ultimately, it's growth. So this really inspires communication when people are connecting in the way that we all work today, when we're sitting around a circle, and we do that every week of every month of every year. Repeat, repeat, repeat. Engagement just skyrockets. It prevents burnout because we're engaging in real conversations about who we are and what we value and what's important to us, and ultimately that retains people. All in all, these skills and peer support and mental health in the workplace foster a culture of gratitude and recognition. And when we see, well, what are some of the main reasons why people and workers leave work environments, is because they don't feel appreciated. They don't feel valued. No one sees them. So building that sense of camaraderie and connection and community is so impactful, and it's really up to us. So that's my talk. That's Evolving Minds. If you want to stay connected, if you're interested, curious, you can check out our mental health blog where we feature workers that are building actively caring work cultures. We also have a full introduction to mindfulness on our YouTube page. So if you're like, that was kind of interesting, I want to learn how to practice mindfulness of sitting, standing, walking, eating, lying down. All those skills are up there. And if you want to reach out and connect, I'm more than happy to connect. Even if you'd like to be like, I have a different opinion, okay. I'm down to connect and engage in dialogue, that's fine. But if you're also looking to build your support or some programs like this into your workplace, I'm happy to provide any support that I can, because it's really up to all of us to create a culture of care and compassion. Thank you all so much. I hope this is a wonderful conference for you.